Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we are discussing tourism in a general context here in Thailand, and we're discussing it while we are going through this sort of COVID-19 interruption to Thai tourism here in 2020. In a recent article from the Bangkok Post, that's bangkokpost.com, article is titled, "Thailand to Turn Away from Mass Tourism, Target the Wealthy." Quoting directly, the government's tourism revival strategy is to target big spenders seeking privacy and social distancing in the COVID-19 era, rather than try to attract a large number of visitors, according to Tourism Minister Pipat Ratchakit Prakan. The pandemic provides an opportunity to reset the sector, which had become reliant on Chinese groups and backpackers, he said in an interview with Bloomberg News. Quoting further, one person can easily spend as much as 5 by staying at the finest hotels, he said, adding that full and free travel should become a thing of the past. Quoting further, Thailand's first few travel bubble pacts with nations such as Japan and Australia probably will not be ready until at least August, Mr. Peapot said. Thailand is also is mulling a program to allow visitors from specific Chinese cities and provinces. So I think that this is really interesting. First of all, just kind of on a, I don't want to say necessarily a personal note, but I do find it rather interesting, the reaction by governments from this. It's kind of, there's been this like paradigm notion or shift or whatever you want to call it, where they're now thinking that this COVID-19 situation is something permanent, that we're just going to have to live with forever. And I really beg to differ with the like quoting again, it said, seeking privacy and social distancing in the COVID-19 era. I mean, what era? And not to get too deep into COVID-19, but I mean, yes, it's a disease. It has had unfortunate ramifications for people throughout the globe, but it has had relatively little impact here in Thailand. And frankly, it's starting to be borne out in data that, overall, it is not the threat that we initially thought it was. So not to get too deep into that, but having worked around the government for a fairly long period of time, I would note that it takes them a rather long time to come to initiate new policies sometimes. So, for example, the Thai government acted with relative alacrity when it came to initiating these COVID-19 protocols. And again, much like a naval vessel, like an aircraft carrier, for example, or a giant cruise ship or something, government, in a sort of more metaphorical sense, and this is worldwide, and it applies to Thailand as well. Governments don't stop on a dime, if you will. You can't just initiate a policy and then immediately change the policy, and they can just do an immediate U-turn. So I've had a lot of people email me about this article, and I've had them send me things on social media and things asking me what I think about this. And I think it is the reflection of government officials, in this case one specific one, and I think it should also be viewed for what it is, which is it's a government official speaking in the moment. Now, presumably this person is looking into the future as far as proposed protocols and initiatives, but I don't think it is prudent to presume that this paradigm is going to exist forever. In point of fact, the tourism industry makes up for a major portion of GDP here in Thailand, and for this reason, I don't think that Thai government officials are going to want to just throw out that portion of GDP just out of hand. They're not going to want to just let that revenue, if you will, if you want to look at the country as sort of a business. I don't think they're going to want to see that foreign income just fall away. I don't think they're just going to let it drop. So the thing to take away from this video, my commentary on this particular article would be this. I think in this moment that things may look dire with respect to how the government is going to react about this and implement new tourism policy, but let's not overly fret. The situation is not as bad as it looked a month ago, and as time moves forward, I think it's going to look even better. Moreover, as I said, getting a government to shift paradigm is a feat in its own right. Getting it to then recognize certain things or certain facts as they are, for example, that maybe something wasn't as major a threat as initially anticipated, and then reconfiguring their response to those newfound facts, that doesn't happen particularly quickly either. So while I do think we're not necessarily going to see the floodgates for tourism just open up tomorrow, I do think we are definitely going to see tourism in Thailand in the months and years to come, probably along the same lines that we saw it before this whole COVID-19 thing came to the forefront.